Hello everyone, welcome to another AFK Arena video, and I know I haven't posted a video recently, so I'm gonna post a video now, and today's video is obviously on our brand new dimensional hero, Joan of Arc. Now, I'm gonna go over the skills for Joan of Arc real quick, and I'm gonna tell you if I think that she is worth the exchange. But just before we do that, I want to show you just how expensive Joan of Arc is going to be. With all of my resources that I have currently, I would only be able to get 41 Joan of Arc stones. Now I know I'll have the resources by the end of the exchange, but you absolutely have to save starting now if you want to get her. I cannot stress this enough. Save your Labyrinth coins, your Challenger coins, your Guild coins, and your Hero coins. Make sure you have at least 40,000 of these two. Probably like 180,000 of those, and like 100,000 of those. So you can get Joan of Arc. I will run all the calculations in another video, but now to what you all came here to watch, most likely. We are going to go down to Joan of Arc. We are going to look at her skills. Starting with her ultimate skill, it's called Stand Firm. It's a passive. Joan of Arc's standard protects her. Her standard is her little banner right there. So, yeah. Joan of Arc's standard protects her, reducing her damage taken by 30%, and grants her immunity from knockbacks. The reduced damage is converted into Joan of Arc's protection value, up to 100% of her max health. When actively used, Joan of Arc repels most debuffs from all allied heroes and restores their health equal to 100% of her current protection value. The health healed is no less than 250% of her attack rating. When Joan of Arc casts her ultimate, allied heroes except herself gain 12% attack rating for 8 seconds. This effect cannot stack. Protection value will be cleared each time Joan of Arc casts her ultimate. You know what I just thought of? Just so that you don't have to listen to Joan of Arc on repeat the whole time I'm reading this, I'm going to turn the sound effects off. But, yeah. The level 2 skill. When Joan of Arc casts her ultimate, she recovers 5% of her max health per second for 8 seconds. The level 3 skill. When Joan of Arc casts her ultimate, allied heroes except herself gain 20% attack rating for 8 seconds. Now, her second skill, Waving Standard, another passive. Joan of Arc waves her standard to instruct Phantom Standard to charge with her when she enters the battlefield. Hold on, let me make sure I read that correctly. Joan of Arc waves her standard to instruct Phantom Standard, to charge with her when she enters the battlefield, dealing damage equal to 100% of her attack rating to enemies close to her. If there are enemies blocking her path during her charge, deals damage equal to 200% of her attack rating twice to enemies within a certain range in front, and knocks them into the air. Whenever Joan of Arc launches an attack, except for her ultimate, restores health equal to 70% of her attack rating for herself and allied heroes behind the Phantom Standard. When Joan of Arc carries her standard into the enemy's backline, the Phantom Standard will stay in the enemy's backline permanently. The level 2 skill, Joan of Arc's charge deals damage equal to 110% of her attack rating to enemies close to her. The level 3 skill, healing amount is increased to 80% of Joan of Arc's attack rating. The level 4 skill, healing amount is increased to 100% of Joan of Arc's attack rating. Now, we're on to her third skill, Standard Shield. Keep in mind, in order to reach the level 4 for this skill, you will need to hit engraving level 30. Joan of Arc swings her standard, providing a shield that has a value equal to 180% of her attack rating to herself and all allied heroes behind the Phantom Standard for 5 seconds. She deals damage equal to 220% of her attack rating to enemies within a certain range in front 3 times. Level 2 skill. Joan of Arc deals damage equal to 240% of her attack rating to enemies within a certain range in front 3 times. Level 3 skill. Increases the shield value to 200% of Joan of Arc's attack rating. Now there's what you get with the engraving 30. Whenever allied heroes behind the Phantom Standard receive healing from Joan of Arc, their attack rating and defense rating are increased by 10% for 8 seconds. Effect stacks up to 30% of Joan of Arc's corresponding stat. And the 4th skill, which is another passive, and keep in mind the level 4 does require the engraving 60. All enemies in the area behind the Phantom Standard take damage equal to 140% of Joan of Arc's attack rating once every 3 seconds. Whenever an enemy takes damage from this skill 3 times, the next hit from this skill additionally stuns the enemy for 1.5 seconds and increases its damage by 20% of her protection value, up to 200% of her attack rating. Level 2 skill increases stun duration to 2.5 seconds. Level 3 skill, all enemies in the area behind the Phantom Standard take damage equal to 180% of Joan of Arc's attack rating once every 3 seconds. The level 4 skill, whenever an enemy takes damage from this skill 2 times, stun is triggered and damage is increased. Now, let's move on to the signature item, the Iris Standard. The base unlock skill is Standard Protection. After Joan of Arc places the Phantom Standard in the enemy's backline, allied heroes take 6% less damage. The reduced damage will be converted into Joan of Arc's protection value. The plus 10 signature item gets the level 2 skill, which we already know. I shouldn't have said that. Everyone knows that. Anyway, the plus 10 gives, after Joan of Arc places the Phantom Standard in the enemy's backline, allied heroes take 12% less damage. The reduced damage will be converted into Joan of Arc's protection value. The plus 20, for the first 3 seconds of battle, Joan of Arc is immune to all damage and converts them into protection value instead. And the plus 30, after Joan of Arc places the Phantom Standard in the enemy's backline, allied heroes take 16% less damage. The reduced damage will be converted into Joan of Arc's protection value. And now for the furniture skill, Graceful Blessing. For the 3 of 9 furniture, when Joan of Arc reaches the enemy's backline, she is able to cast her ultimate without using energy. And for the 9 of 9 furniture, when Joan of Arc casts her ultimate, the protection value will no longer need to be cleared, but reduced to 50% of the original value. And then obviously, everyone knows the 36 of 9 furniture is just stat buffs, and don't go for 36 of 9 as a free-to-play player. Only do it if you're a massive pay-to-win whale that's heavy into PvP. But, yeah, Joan of Arc is a strength-based hero and deals physical damage, meaning she uses plate armor and heavy weapons. She is a support class, and she receives Dura Sustenance. That means she can also use the artifacts, the Tide Bearer, the Sephiric Tide, and the Oceanic Strings, which I do not have yet. But for Joan of Arc, is she worth it? In my opinion, from what I've read and the small tests that I've done on her, she is absolutely worth it. Now, what I'm going to say the optimum investment would be, in my opinion, now, I don't take my word for it, because I'm not the best at the game. I would recommend you ask other people who are way more skilled. But if you want my opinion, I think she needs to be at Ascended 1-star with the plus 20 signature item. She needs 9 of 9 furniture, and she needs engraving 60. You can go for the plus 30 if you want, but I do not recommend it since it doesn't really do much. But yes, that is what I have to say about Joan of Arc. She's going to be a really powerful hero from what I've seen, what I think. She's going to be really good. Now, I would go into the Arena of Trials in this video, but we all know I have to keep videos at around 10 minutes in length, or else it just cuts off and I lose all the footage. So, in the next video, I am going to head over to here, and I'm just going to play around with her for a little bit. But I think that's all for this video. As always, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.